Hi, I'm back, Moody Boo, with another random review, and this one I told you I was going to get more in depth about some of the nicotine juices that I use for my e-cigarette, and I just kind of wanted to do a follow-up on that. And just so you know, I keep my nicotine juices in this. For one thing, they're highly toxic. And if my grandkids got into them, it would kill them because they're sweet, they smell sweet, so you always want to keep them locked up. Batteries and my extra chambers, you know, for the nicotine juice, and the internal guts for the chambers. I know, I'm using technical terms, right? Keep all of my supplies in here. So you can kind of see I have another box in there, and that's specifically full of my juices. I'd like to keep it double locked. But then I've got extra batteries and miscellaneous chargers and stuff on the side. And so, and something I was going to tell you is that the EVOD, the Kanger EVOD, is exactly the same thing, well, pretty much the same thing as the Ego. So the batteries are interchangeable, the internal wicks for the chambers are interchangeable. It's all interchangeable, the chargers, everything. So they're the same thing, they're just called different things. So the EVOD and the Ego are the same thing. So, but the reason I'm telling you that is because I've noticed, like, I was buying a lot of my stuff from Vapor Lounge, and these little chambers are 10 bucks a piece, and then you can buy a box of the 5 wicks that go on the inside that screw in and out. When it goes bad, you just change those parts out. You don't have to throw the whole thing away. The Ego, for some reason, everywhere I look, it's a lot more expensive than the EVOD, and they're the same thing. So I've even got the Ego's wick in on this EVOD that I just got, and the battery is on there and everything too. So anyway, and that's good to know because I bought this starters kit with it had 2 full setups of these things in there, and so this was in there like that. 2 pens is what they call them. You see there's another layer in there. And under that is a USB charger, and I believe it has the wall charger part with it. Let me see, I haven't even pulled it out. Yeah, it's got the wall adapter with it, which is awesome. Then you also get, with this starters kit, you get some of the little internal guts that I was talking about, the little wicks that go inside. And the whole thing, the whole starters kit, including all the chargers and everything, was, I think it was $40. And for $60 you get less at Vapor Lounge with the Ego. So the EVOD is a much better deal. I totally recommend checking out Mt.Baker Vapor because their prices are way, way better than Vapor Lounge. I've been getting my juices from Mt.Baker Vapor for a while now, but I kind of suspected the EVOD and the Ego were the same, but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to risk it, but I just decided to go ahead and do it because I'm heading to Hawaii, and I want to make sure I have plenty of supplies in case they pass that federal, the FDA gets involved and starts, you know, oh, what am I trying to say? They're going to start trying to regulate these nicotine products. So this is what I keep my juices in, is this thing. And in here it is completely full of juices and flavors. Over on this side I have just flavors that, you know, add flavor to the nicotine juices, but they don't have any nicotine in them. These are all nicotine flavors. I have kind of my winter scents over here that have mint in them, or are like hookah tobacco flavors and things like that, and nutty flavors and molasses type flavors. Those kind of things are over here. In the middle I have my sweet flavors, so my vanilla ice cream, my cakes, my bubblegum coconuts are in there, and then my fruits are over here, my strawberry kiwi, pear, grape, things like that are on this side. And my flavors are just a hodgepodge of everything. But I wanted to go through some of my favorite flavors with you. And I have to say that these 4 big bottles that you see here are from Mt.Baker Vapor. They're a new nicotine juice that they just started selling called Guar. Oh my God, I love them. I don't even know. These are going to be like my backup nicotine juices from now on, because I'm so hooked on these Guar that since I've had these 4 flavors, I haven't used anything else. So, but I'll just talk about a few of the flavors, my favorite ones. And kind of the ones that I use as a staple. And you'll be able to tell because I have very little in them. One of them is and this is Mt.Baker Vapor. That's pretty much where I buy all my juice now, is Mt.Baker Vapor. And if you, I think it's like over 25 bucks, they send a free juice, might be $30. And this might be one of my favorites, and it's called Caramel Candy. And I use this, I mix my juices a lot. So I'll use caramel candy with, and I'll just tell you the flavors instead of trying to find them, with vanilla ice cream. Oh, and then I'll add a little vanilla ice cream flavoring to it. And it is such a good vape. It's such a good smooth vape. I had to get this is just I believe this is 15 ml bottle that you get from Mt.Baker Vapor, run you about $5. Whereas at Vapor Lounge and some of the other places that I've seen, 10 mLs runs you $10. So it's much better deal. I feel like it's every bit as good a juice, in some cases better, in some cases not quite as good. So is vanilla ice cream. That's another one from Mt.Baker Vapor you've got to try. I use it for everything. I bought some bigger bottles of those. Here's my vanilla ice cream. I bought it in the, yeah, this is the 30 ml bottle because I use it so much as a base for mixing my other flavors. I'll put vanilla ice cream with strawberry and kiwi, and it'll make it taste like I've just dumped a bunch of fruit on some ice cream. It's so good. And some of the ones, another one that I use a lot is called Cake, and it's just a really good base. It just smells kind of like, and tastes just kind of like a yellow cake. It's really kind of generic, but like I said, like the vanilla ice cream, it's a really good base. So I'll fill my chamber like halfway up with vanilla ice cream or cake or something like that, and then I'll add some specialty flavors, amaretto or things like that. I especially love the amaretto vanilla ice cream combination. It's one of my favorite combos. Another one that I really, really love, and I've been using the heck out of, is just grape. It's just straight grape. It's not a super sweet grape. It's more of a tangy kind of a grape, almost like a green grape. Not green, unripened grape, but we had this small vineyard, and it was just wild growing grapes. They were wine grapes along the property of our house when I was a little kid. And these were green, and they were slimy on the inside, and they had seeds, but they were wine grapes, and I used to eat the crap out of them because the skin was sweet and tart at the same time, but the meat on the inside was just sweet. It was just delicious with a bit of tart to it. And we'd always peel them at Halloween and stick them in a bowl and blindfold our friends and tell them they were bats' eyeballs because they felt slimy and weird and stuff. So, so grape is another one that I just adore. Another one that I have a big bottle of because I use so much is Dulce de Leche. It's almost like it's just a milk and kind of a burnt cream kind of flavor to it, but I use it as another one as a base for a lot of different vapes. And I already told you about the caramel candy. So lastly, I wanted to talk about this new line of flavors that Mt.Baker Vapor has been selling that I kind of mentioned earlier. And these are called Guar, and it's G-W-A-R, and they're really funky looking kind of juices, but they're kind of pretty too. And these only come in the 30 ml bottle. They do come in different strengths, you know, from 12, 18, 36 or whatever. But you don't get extra shots of flavors or anything with these. They just stand by themselves, and they don't need extra shots. These are the most flavorful vapes, nicotine juices I've ever had. They're so good, and it's cool because they come with their own dropper. So if you can see it there. And this is just a beautiful amber juice. And this one is German chocolate beef cake. And this is so good. It smells so much and tastes so much like German chocolate cake, which is my favorite cake ever. It has a slight booziness to it, and there's coconut, and there's nuts, and there's caramel in it, and chocolate, of course. It is the most true German chocolate flavoring and, you know, taste and aroma that I've had without it being an actual home-baked cake. And not the kind you buy in the store. We're talking home-baked cake. Oh, and some butter in there. It's a fabulous vape. And I can vape on it all day long. I don't get a cough. I don't have any problems at all. It doesn't irritate my throat or anything. Whereas some of the mintier ones can kind of give me a tickle in the back of my throat. This one, though, has no mint in it, and it's just fabulous. And this is Guar Fluids, and this is German chocolate beef cake. It's wonderful. This is one of my all-time favorites. And another one that I just got, but I love, it's a very fruity melon kind of a flavor and aroma, is called Spew by Guar. And this one is such a strong melon. It's just this, it's like cantaloupe and watermelon and honeydew all mixed together and then just amplified by 1,000. It's so strong as far as the melon smell and the melon taste, but I love it. This next one is called Guar Wife, and this one is just kind of a very caramely, oh, it's like a caramely butterscotch or something, and it is so good. This one I haven't had very long, so I haven't really vaped on it more than a few times, and I really, really love it, but I'm exploring it more just now, and I can't tell you that much about it. The other three I've had for a while. And it goes, this stuff doesn't burn fast at all. Some of the other nicotine juices, you know, I have to fill my chamber twice a day sometimes. Well, you know, I'll vape all the way through once, and then I'll go through another half or something. It won't be like 2 full chambers worth, but it'll be definitely more than one. I just burn through it really quick, and it's not like I'm chain vaping either. It's just, it burns really quickly. This stuff doesn't burn quick at all. None of these Guar juices do. They're a little more spendy because you're getting them in only the 30 ml. So it's $10.99 for a bottle of this, but it'll last so much longer than the other ones. And if you break it down, you know, if it were 15 ml bottles, that would be like $5.50 a piece. And, you know, that's about the same as the rest of their juices. So really, it's not more expensive. You just have to buy it in a larger quantity. And the last one is my favorite. And I was really surprised by how much I love this one. It's called Gizmoglobin. And I don't even know how to describe this one. It's kind of a sweet, minty, fruity kind of a thing. But it's so good, and it vapes so smooth, and it lasts all day. One chamber will last me all day of this stuff, of all of these Guar juices. And I won't even have to, you know, fill it until halfway through the next day. So these are really cost effective, and they're fabulous juices. I think there's like 2 or 3 other ones that they have as well that I haven't tried. But you really need to check these out. And I know that you don't get samples like perfumes, you don't get samples or anything, you just have to shoot for the whole bottle. But it's only 11 bucks. And I'm sure if you hate it, if you're like me, you know lots of people that vape, and you can always trade out flavors. So those were some of my favorite flavors of nicotine juices. And I vape, when I buy from Mt.Baker Vapor, I usually get 65-35 or 50-50, and that just means the vegetable glycerin to, is it propylene? I always get it confused, propylene glycol or polyethylene glycol? I think it's propylene glycol. And the propylene glycol is what gives you the throat hit, and the vegetable glycerin is what gives you the vapor, the cloud of vapor. and you have to have both. But a lot of times now I just do the 50-50s. And if I get the juices that aren't the guar juices, the regular Mt.Baker vapor juices, if I get these, I used to get flavor shots in them to make them a little richer, but these flavor bottles are only like, I think $3 a piece to add your own flavors, and that way, you know, I think it's like 25 cents for a flavor shot or something like that. So it's a lot better, and these bottles last forever, and I always get just a straight sweetener. I usually add, and I'll even add a little couple of drops of sweetener to the guar juices if I feel like it. But I pretty much always add some sweetener, usually 2 to 4 drops, just depending on the flavor of sweetener. And then I may add another drop or 2 of flavoring. But I've noticed if I go past about 8 drops of flavoring, it starts really thinning out the juice, and the vape isn't as good. So you want to be careful how much flavoring you put in there, because there's no nicotine in it. So I never put more than 8 drops of anything, and even that's tops. Usually 6 is good. 3 of whatever flavor I want and 3 of sweetener. And then you still get a good thick vape during your chamber. So I guess that's about it. I was just so excited to find out about the EVOD and the Ego being the same thing. And like I said, the EVOD by Kanger is much cheaper than the Ego. And anytime you buy from Mt.Baker Vapor, they give you these cards. They send these cards with you, and it's for 10% off your next purchase. And they don't expire or anything. So the coupon code is Vapor from Baker, and I'll put a link to Mt.Baker Vapor below, and I'll put the code in the box, but just so you see, that's the code, and that'll get you another 10% off your entire purchase from Mt.Baker Vapor. So it's a really good deal. So anyway, be sure to lock up all your nicotine juices. If you have people with intellectual disabilities or elderly or children in your house, be sure to lock it up, because nicotine juice is toxic. If you spill it on yourself, change your clothes, wash your skin. Do not leave that stuff on your skin. It'll totally go through the skin barrier and go right into your bloodstream, and people have died from it. You just have to be really careful with nicotine juice and be really cautious about, you know, because like I said, it goes through your skin, your mucous membranes when you vape. So if you get it on your clothes, change your clothes. If you get it on your skin, wash it off. So, all right, I guess that's it. And I appreciate you hanging around with me, and we'll see you soon. Okay, peace. Gross. Pig.